And it's a very good morning to Carly Wilding and Kylie Morrigan. Carly and Kylie are the folk fusion duo based in Melbourne called Morrigan Wilding, playing at the Wyreena Music Cafe on May the 26th. That's a Friday. The Wyreena Music Cafe right here in Croydon has a fantastic program last Friday of every month, 7pm till 7:30 till 9:30, includes a supper, a couple of sets from these fantastic musicians here in the studio with me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's very lovely to be here. Thank you for having us.
It's lovely to have real people in the studio with real instruments, which you're going to play. So, Carly, you've got a theatre and music background, and Kylie, you've got a classical and contemporary music background.
Yes,
and you've merged all this into a single entity, a mystical, Celtic, Gothic, and unique blending of voice and multi-instrumentation, and you have all original songs. I think that's fantastic.
We do indeed. Yes, we're quite keen to play original music.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're really enjoying just exploring our own stories and expressing those, yeah.
Also worked with the Comedy Festival recently, improvising or playing for the completely improvised Shakespeare. I find that fascinating, the idea of having improv with Shakespeare, and you do the musical accompaniment, is that right?
Yeah, so it's called Sooth Players, and the audience gives a title, new one every night, and then a company of 5 players improvise a play, never before seen, in the style of Shakespeare, and we basically on harp and violin accompany.
Well, that really must test your musical skills, and how do you work together on that? How do you sync
We've
that?
got a good silent language, I feel.
Do. There's a bit of codes, you know, the occasional raised eyebrow or and a little bit of whispering occasionally.
Yes.
And how much of the Sooth Players' performance then is music, in terms of, are you just in a background music, or do you actually have some full numbers in that?
We're mostly background music, but a couple of the players are a bit cheeky and like to test us, and occasionally will throw to us and say, and now a song from the minstrels.
Prithee, minstrels, sing the song about love, and that's when we go, oh dear, now we have to improvise a song, but we do, and it's fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's great.
So you're actually improvising songs, and then no wonder you've got so much material, your own material. If you're improvising, that must be the foundation of a new song, do you think?
Possibly.
More than anything, it feeds into our work together, I think, that sort of silent language and rehearsing together.
And you've also worked on a film recently. It must have been during the COVID times, I suppose.
Yes.
A movie called Love's Bitter Mystery, and the subtitle is The Year That Made James Joyce. And I think, Carly, you directed it, and you scored it, Kylie. So that's quite an achievement to do that.
I scored it with a lot of direction, actually, from Carly, which was wonderful. It's one of my favourite kind of creative things to have someone say, I need this feeling, and what about, this kind of colour coming in. And it was a very exciting process, actually, and I think we're pretty happy with the way it ended up.
But tell us about the musical instruments that you've brought along today, and what is the range of instruments that you play?
Yeah, well, we've bought 3 of the instruments that we play in our set. We have quite a few because we like to get creative, and we'll write a song and then say, what it needs is a little bit of recorder or drum so we do have quite a few instruments. But today we have my violin, which is actually a 5-string violin, and Carly's harp, which is made by Andy Rigby, fabulous harp maker, instrument maker from Victoria, and a guitar. So we'll make good use of those.
Kylie, you started your musical training at the age of 3.
Yes, I did.
So you've been doing it.
Probably not my choice at that age. But, I was very fortunate. My parents enrolled me in Yamaha Music School when I was a little tacker, and I just never stopped. And I did stop, actually, when I was in my 20s and had children. I stopped playing for quite a while. But I trained classically, and then after a big break, then I've come back and I'm playing all kinds of things, which is very exciting.
So did you train at the VCA?
I did train at the VCA.
And played in the Orchestra Victoria?
Yes, I did.
That's quite something. Do you miss those days with a large orchestra?
Yes and no. I mean, it was a wonderful thing to do, and I'm very glad that I did it. But it was pretty high stress, and I'm a little bit lazy, let's be honest. And the thought of getting back to that level of playing, it doesn't thrill me. So I don't think I would ever play again at that level. But I love listening to classical music still, and it's quite incredible. What the power of a full orchestra is astounding. Yeah.
And Carly, you're an actor, singer, musician. writer,
All of the above.
done an acting course in Ballarat,
Yes.
also have a Bachelor of Arts, done a lot of TV and theatre work, commercials, voiceovers and things, is that right?
All of that. It's the thing about being an actor is you have to have your finger in many pies. Fingers, I should say. So the fun part about working with Kylie is that I had done a little bit of music before and had been accidental musical director on a few shows and theatre shows I'd worked on professionally and at uni. Working with Kylie, we met doing a show called Voyage, and Kylie sort of came from the music world and was brought into the theatre world in that show, and I came from the theatre world, and that was my first musical. So we've kind of done that.
Yeah.
We do have a dream. When we were first imagining being a band, we went straight to being a hugely successful touring the world band playing in stadiums. And in that version of the band, we're still, at the front, but we have a whole band behind us. Maybe one day that iteration
That is the dream.
will come. But at the moment, it's just the two of us.
And there's no better place to see the two of you than the Wyreena Music Cafe on the 26th of May. Tickets are still available, selling fast, so book now. It's the maroondah.vic.gov.au/Wyreena, and the tickets are available there. Not expensive, and you get the supper as well. But look, let's get to the music now. I think you've got
Lovely.
your instruments here, and what do you intend to play first?
So we've got two songs. One of them is the very first one that I wrote for Kylie, friendship song. It's called
very
Picnic
beautiful.
Rug. We actually did a show called Bumbles and Moz about our friendship and the sort of forming of our band. And it was a bit meta. We did that at the Butterfly Club. Bumbles and Moz, Morrigan Moz, Bumbles is my childhood nickname. And in that show, we had the big grand stadium version of our then imaginary band, Morrigan and Wilding.
Yes.
Now real band, Morrigan and Wilding. And then we had the beginnings of the band with this very simple acoustic song called Picnic Rug. And that really is the first song I wrote for Kylie and for us to sing. So we'll perform that, and then we've got another song called The Gospel Unchangeable that sort of speaks for itself. This is our song Picnic Rug. If I could give you the world, I would. I'd handpick the stars if I could. But all I have is the sun in my chest and my little plaid picnic rug on the sand for you to rest. Couldn't carry your grief, but I'd try. I'd even let you see me cry. When all my tears harden into glassy stones, you collect my fallen marbles, trust them as your own. Well, I don't have much to give, or maybe that's just what I'm used to saying. What I have, I'll give to you. And maybe someday soon I'll love myself too. Don't break the lock, I'll give you a key. Come sit round my table with me. I'm not accustomed to kindness in company, but please tell me the ingredients in your favorite tea. Well, I don't have much to give, or maybe that's just what I'm used to saying. What I have, I'll give to you, and maybe someday soon I'll love myself. I'll wear safety goggles for when your walls come down. When the dust dissipates, I'll buy us each a ball gown to parade down the esplanade of the toxic way back west. Cheers to finding out what it is to let someone in again. If I could give you the world, I would. I'd handpick the stars if I could. But all I have is the sun in my chest and my little plaid picnic rug on the sand for you to rest.
Stunning harmonies there.
Thank you.
From Carly Wilding and Kylie Morrigan. And of course, that was Carly's very first song. Not bad for a first song.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's very beautiful, and
It's a beautiful song.
yeah, it was a beautiful moment when Carly first played that for me. I think we were both in tears. And I have to say, the picnic rug that features in the song is
it's
a
very
very
important.
real thing.
The very foundation of our friendship.
It is.
we should
It's
say.
built on a picnic rug. Yeah. We did the show Voyage together, where Carly was starring in the show, acting and singing, and I was a musician, sort of part of the action.
Green
on-
Room Award nominated musician.
It was Green Room Award nominated, that's true.
What year was this?
It was
2021.
2021.
fairly recent, yeah.
So we managed, in between lockdowns, to have a full season at 45 Downstairs, which was pretty amazing. And the day after our season finished, we went into another lockdown. But Carly and I discovered that we lived close by, so we were going for walks on our 2 hours a day
Yeah.
that we were allowed to go for walks. It might have been a little bit longer than 2 hours, but
Yeah.
approximately 2 hours
Don't worry
a day.
about it.
And we were walking, and we might have occasionally sat on a picnic rug on the beach and dreamed up being a band. So it's been a really lovely progression. And yeah, well, the first thing that we dreamed up was the theatre show that we did, Bumbles and Moz, which was about becoming a band. And it was quite hilarious that really our first gig was after we did a full theatre season.
theatre season about
of
being a
Bumbles and
band.
Moz. Bumbles and Moz, yeah. And we managed to fit that in between lockdowns as well. I think there was a lockdown shortly after we finished that as well. So we've been very lucky. So we do feel it's a little bit blessed, this journey.
Bit fated.
It is. So very exciting for us now to have 2 full sets of music that we've written that we can perform. And yeah, we had a lovely moment at rehearsal the other day. And it was like, oh, what song's next? And I can't even remember which song it was, but I was like, oh, yay, I love this one. And I was like, oh, yeah, I have that reaction to every song whenever we get to a song. Oh, yeah, I love this one.
Yeah.
So that's always a good sign.
When you're performing at venues like Wyreena, do you have this sort of rapport? Are you constantly playing music, or are you engaging with the audience in much the same way as you're doing now?
We do a lot of storytelling. So
Good. It's
a
good.
lot of our songs are about our experiences as women in the world, and about some amazing women that we know and people in general. But there are some songs that don't really require an introduction, but there's a bit of a narrative through line that we're trying to build in our music eventually that does sort of utilise both of our storytelling ability and background. That's quite enjoyable.
And one of the stories you tell is it Sheila's Green?
Oh, don't get me started. In the 1800s, there was no pigment of green that didn't turn brown. So a chemist, called Carl Wilhelm Scheele,
Carl Wilhelm Scheele.
he invented a pigment of green that didn't go brown, and it went. It was a craze all around the world. People wore it in ball gowns. Queen Victoria wore it and wallpapered Buckingham Palace in it. At the time, people were so obsessed with this vibrant green that they ignored the side effects, which were basically arsenic poisoning.
Oh, that's handy.
Yes. But even when they knew that, they didn't stop wearing it. So I wrote a song called Sheila's Green that uses live looping. We do a lot of live looping. It's got beatboxing and harp and violin.
Oh, yes. That's
very theatrical song.
Yeah.
It's basically about the absurdity and the greed and the colour green, the story behind that in Queen Victoria.
Well, wonderful. We'll look forward to hearing that story at Wyreena Music Cafe on May 26th.
Something died today in this house. The wallpaper bleeds out. She pasted on an insidious green, but the arsenic killed her vanity. Pretty ladies dressed in a brand new tone twirl round like spinning tops at Her Majesty's ball, breathing in the particles from silks and satins. Even Vicky from the Buck wears a glamorous queen. Estevano Ballando, hey Ballando. Now all the dignitaries with nefarious moves sulk in verdant smoke on the edge of the room. There's a lack of ventilation, but the mood is sublime. Sheila's killing Sheila's one waltz at a time. Something died today in this house. The wallpaper bleeds out. She pasted on an insidious green, but the arsenic killed her vanity.
You haven't been playing it that long, I guess, that song, fairly
That
new.
one's pretty new.
Yeah, the whole, timeline with COVID, everything.
who knows?
Time is, I don't understand time anymore.
We do
Doesn't
have
matter.
a couple of new songs at that gig that we have only played for a private audience. But yeah, we've got a couple of pretty brand new songs that we're excited to do. Live looping, guitar business, violin business.
Yeah, we like to challenge ourselves.
Well, we're very privileged to have you in the studios at Radio Eastern. This is Radio Eastern 98.1. Robert Arthur interviewing Carly Wilding and Kylie Morrigan, of course, from the duo of Morrigan Wilding, appearing at Wyreena Music Cafe May 26th. Get in early for your tickets. You've got another song for us now?
We do.
We do. Yes, this one will feature Carly on the harp. That's another COVID project. Carly's woke up one day and said, I'm going to learn the harp.
You know how everybody did something weird in lockdowns? Like some people were like, I'm going to learn how to make banana bread. I was like, I'm going to learn to play the harp. And so I did that.
Much more practical.
Yeah.
Yep. And she has her custom-made harp by Andy Rigby. So, yes, we'll play a little song called... I shouldn't say a little song. It's a beautiful song.
A little ditty.
The Gospel Unchangeable. Is that the correct title?
Yes.
Yeah, I always get that wrong.
Just while you're setting up your instruments, you know you can make more money out of banana bread.
Maybe. Depends. We're going to be a huge stadium show.
You are.
Yeah.
You heard them first, right here on Radio Eastern 98.1. Morrigan Wilding.
What if we were wrong about everything? Would we take it back? Erase all our stories of hope and of glory and skip all the parts where we fell off the tracks. What if we were wrong about history? Would we try to rewrite it? Maybe the damage is done and sealed in our sons and the way they spoke to our daughters, to our daughters. Maybe the lion-hearted we are too proud to believe we're all a little bit wrong. If You're not stuck in your ways, your face won't freeze if the wind changes. You're free to fall in front of strangers. So what are you so afraid of? Stony opinions in your pocket. Did they ever find Virginia's locket? Locking it just weighs you down. What are you so afraid of? Is it the stories you hold? Or the things you've been told? Or the shame cast over you like a heavy weight? Oh, truth is in the air we breathe and the love we see. All the books go back to trees, to the maiden mothers. So what if we were wrong about everything? Maybe the lion-hearted we are too proud to believe we're all a little bit wrong. If we treat every printed page like the gospel unchangeable, iron words unrearrangeable, how can we change anything? How can we change anything? What if we were wrong about everything? What if we were wrong about everything? What if we were wrong? What if we were wrong? What if we were wrong about everything?
Slightly mystical, slightly Celtic, slightly Gothic, and a unique blending of voice and multi-instrumentation with all original songs. You've been listening to Morrigan Wilding, Carly Wilding and Kylie Morrigan, as special studio guests. Thank you so much for coming into Radio Eastern 98.1. We look forward to your performance on May the 26th at the Wyreena Music Cafe. Tickets from www.maroondah.vic.gov.au/Wyreena.
Thank you so much for having us
Yes,
in, Robert.
thank you.
It's been an absolute joy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bumbles and Moz.
Yes.
Indeed.